What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Bridon League. This is going to be the final group, and it's just going to have a whole bunch of games just like the previous groups, except we have a whole bunch of different teams. The winner of the previous groups are now in this final group, and then we're going to be going to brackets. It's a whole big thing, but for right now, it's going to be more best-of-1 games. We got xGame KZ going up against Little Busters Forever. I'm Mike Loris. I've got Blackadder here as well. How are you doing?
Not too bad, man, not too bad. A bit of an early start, but nonetheless, let's get into the draft, shall we?
Right, I mean, this is something that you don't see every day. Ancient Apparition is going to be banned out first by xGame KZ. It's been the orange player, ZJK, on Little Busters, who has played it in all the games that I have seen. I haven't seen all of them, but I can only assume that he's been playing that hero more than what I've been seeing, so it's a respect ban of sorts, or just a little bit of something to push Little Busters out of their comfort zone?
I would say more of a respect ban. ZJK does play a phenomenal AA from what I've seen, although we could be seeing more of a healing style coming out of xGame, possibly. I mean, we could see the likes of the Necrophos or something similar, but we're going to start out with the Troll Warlord and the Vengeful Spirit for the respective teams. So for xGame, maybe the Bashlord strategy. For Little Busters, they have a very open start.
Yeah, Troll Warlord has been, moving up the pick priority for the past couple of weeks or couple of months, really. It used to be like, oh, 5th pick Troll Warlord, that's kind of surprising. But now you see a first pick Troll Warlord, and it's like, okay, yep, that's about how it should be. So, yeah, he's definitely getting a lot more traction as of late, and it's because he does quite a few things pretty well. I think most of the time, if you have a hero that is able to do that much mid-game, late-game damage, his laning, or that hero's laning, is usually really bad, but that's not really the case for Troll Warlord. His laning is actually pretty good for such a mid-game powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of power in terms of his last-hitting capabilities, let alone the ability to switch to melee if he can go up against a 1v1 melee matchup. But the nice thing about him, just the ability to punish anyone who comes close with that mischance and damage of the whirling axes. It's really good in combination with his chasing power, but we do get that Brewmaster for the Little Busters, so I'm wondering if we're not going to see a mid-brew tri-lane defensive VS, and there's the puck. That could be to go up against the Brewmaster in the mid lane, should it be a mid-brew.
Yeah, but puck off lane, certainly a possibility, as well as Troll Warlord safe lane. I think xGame are probably fine throwing their Troll Warlord into the mid lane, expecting that Brewmaster. Again, both sides will have mischances to deal with, and in that sense, Troll Warlord, with his ability to go ranged, is in general going to have a good time, as he'll be able to manfight the Brewmaster. And honestly, there aren't many heroes that go to the mid lane that are able to comfortably manfight a Brewmaster and come out ahead, so xGame might want to do that, but for right now, just grabbing a hero as a response to the Brewmaster. The Scarith Mage is going to be banned out so that that secondary counter isn't quite there, but a blink, silence, coil, not the best way of dealing with Brewmaster, but it gets the job done if you land it correctly.
Yeah, it can do the job, but going into the next set of bans, we've got the Morphling taken away, the Ember Spirit taken away, and there goes the Skywrath Mage. Are we going to see another ban on a silencing hero here for the Little Busters? Maybe take away the Nortrum?
Well, I mean, I would expect them to ban out a support hero at the very least. xGame, they already have their 2 cores, therefore they're going to be looking for support. I would personally be more scared of the Lion. I feel like Silencer is just a little bit of a finicky counter to these giant teamfight heroes. Like, he's really good versus Enigma because you have a lot of time to press that global silence button, but Brewmaster, you don't really have that much time to react, and it's a lot easier to just get an instant disable out there. So I would prioritize a Lion ban if I was Little Busters, but they also do have the first pick, so maybe they want to ban something else and then grab that hero for themselves. Disruptor is, there we go, that's a support ban right there.
Yeah, so I was looking for some kind of ban on a silencing hero. I suppose Lion with that instant hex is, of course, of merit, but in this case, no Disruptor, and it does open the pool up maybe for that Tidehunter pick.
Tidehunter is actually looking pretty good for both sides, honestly. Like, they could do pretty well for it, but if you grab it if you're on Little Busters, you get a little bit of extra minus armor, and that could go a long way at dealing with this Troll Warlord and Puck. Might end up being a little bit crowd control light at dealing with this Puck. They need a lot of instant disable as well, or a good amount of instant disable as well to deal with the Puck effectively, but man, Tidehunter would be a pretty solid hero for either side, and so far, doesn't seem like the Tidehunter is going to run into any sort of laning problems.
I don't see any kind of laning problems in Tide's future if that's what they go with, but If they go with the Tide, mid Brewmaster, offlane Tide, then Vengeful Spirit, something, then Spectre as their carry for Little Busters. Whereas if Troll, Warlord, and Puck have a Tide on their side, safe lane farming Troll, Puck in the mid lane, I suppose it works, but now we've got an Omni Knight on the field for Little Busters, and I've seen this before. It was quite powerful last time they ran the Omni. This could be quite nasty.
Little Busters in the game I saw, was that with you? I don't know if it was, I have no idea, but support Omni Knight generally tends to be a little bit underwhelming, but man, if you are able to get someone that's worthy of that protection, then you're going to be able to do a lot. The problem is that you may be able to repel your friend, and that friend might be able to go ham, but up against Troll Warlord and a Coil, you're going to have some answers to that repel. The X game, they don't have any heroes that really want to buy Diffusal Blade, so I guess in that sense, Little Busters are going to be happy with this Omni Knight pick, but their X game side, they already have enough disabled to make Omni Knight a little bit uncomfortable, and they haven't even picked up their supports yet. Again, X game should be looking for some hard crowd control right about now.
Yeah, I'd agree on the hard crowd control, but they also need to deal with maybe the Omni Knight and, as you say, natural Diffusal Blade carrier. That would be quite a nice little addition. I suppose Troll Warlord can pick up the Diff Blade. It's a little less common, but it's doable. But we get the Centaur War Runner for the Little Busters, so their lanes are starting to shape up. And that is very painful, actually, thinking about it. And there's a Shadow Demon for X game, so Shadow Demon to start out for the supports for X game. I like the Shadow Demon with these heroes to line up against Little Busters, considering Purge is going to keep one hero there for Troll to just wail on. But for Little Busters, how are they going to lane this, do you think?
Well, I would expect them to just pick up something like a ranged carry or some sort of carry to partner up with the Omni Knight Vengeful Spirit down towards bottom, put Brew in the mid lane, put Centaur up in the off. It's not exactly the strongest way to lane it. Centaur off lane up against what I expect to be a Troll Warlord tri-lane is going to be fairly weak, but I think just with the Omni Knight Vengeful Spirit, they'll have enough to protect whoever's going to be going down to the bottom lane, and that should be fine. I mean, X game, they are going to grab the Shadow Demon in the sense that it does have a Purge, so you're able to take out the GA and the Repel from whoever you need to remove that from. But also, it seems like they're setting up for a Mirana pick, and that's just another support hero that can build a Diffusal Blade, and would love to if she gets the chance. So, X game, they're going to have a pretty deadly combo in their support heroes, whereas Little Busters, they're more defensively oriented. They need a late game hero here, I think. Like a really late game
I'd agree.
one.
I'd agree, but my biggest problem with the Little Busters lineup, if we're correct on the way they're laning things, Omni's going to be in a tri-lane. What is the one thing Omni needs? Not a sniper, but okay. Omni needs the levels, and in a tri-lane scenario, Omni just doesn't get those all-important levels. But with a sniper now, sitting back and waylaying from a distance up against what is most likely going to be a Mirana Shadow Demon support combo and a Puck, I don't like this as much.
X game, they don't have any. There are many heroes that could instantly jump onto the sniper and do him in. Someone like a Phantom Assassin, clearly not on the X game side, which actually would be pretty sweet up against Little Busters. But besides that, sniper most of the time is going to be going towards the mid lane. Not really the strongest mid lane hero, but I'm not sure if that's really what they want to be doing. I'm still on the defensive tri-lane plan for Little Busters. I think that's probably the strongest way they've laned it, or maybe I'm just thinking Omni Knight does support a little bit too much. They could always do something really janky with their lanes. Offensive tri-lane, do you think that's actually a possibility?
Well, we got the Sand King for X game, so no Mirana, but for Little Busters, a mid-sniper and a tri-lane Centaur would not actually surprise me, because it's a style that I've seen Trixie run with heavily. They put the Centaur tri-lane, and they just go very aggressive with it. They have enough stun combinations to land said kind of aggression. So it is doable, and it would heavily punish the X-Game lineup if they go tri-lane Centaur, because the burst damage is absolutely insane from that kind of lane. Vengeful Spirit Magic Missile into Hoof Stomp into Double Edge, and then a heal on top of it.
The only problem with that is that they need to actually get close enough for the Magic Missile, and it's far enough range that you can rely upon it most of the time, but just starting that combo is going to really be the problem, if it is going to be a problem ever in this game. But for right now, we're going to be loading out into the lanes, and it's of course going to be one person wants time, the other person wants to go. But on the X game side, The Mantis is going to be playing that Lycan. Vlad is going to be playing the support Shadow Demon, along with the support Sand King, which is more of an older Shadow Demon combo. I personally like the Mirana better, although I do love myself some Sand King. Bignum's going to be handling the Troll Warlord, most likely will be going mid, and Stallcat on the off lane is going to be on that puck, and Stallcat's puck is the real deal, man.
Yeah, I've seen phenomenal things of his puck, but of course, on the flip side of the coin for the Xanatic lineup, or the Little Busters, depending on how you want to call them, on the Centaur, you've got Bad, and he might actually find Mantis here. Poke and prod at him, that could be fun. Leaf's going to rotate around. They're not going to be able to get a stun, I don't think, unless Bad gets a little bit overzealous. I mean, then again, in a right-click fight at this point, Bad will most likely win. Over towards the mid lane, we've got FN, and he's going to be on the Brewmaster as the poking and prodding still continues here. What is Reeves trying to accomplish? I mean, I don't see Bad getting this rune. Not at all.
It's like, no. Bad, the melee hero, is perfectly kiting the Sand King, the other melee hero. He's hitting so many more times that I don't know how that worked out in Bad's favor, but he had so many more chances to hit Reeves. Of course, there's high ground to consider there, so Sand King maybe caught unawares, and maybe Sand King just not wanting to fully engage with the Shadow Demon, but for whatever reason, it's just going to be bounty rune secured, one going on either team.
As for the rest of the heroes, we've got a Jestave on that Omni Knight down on the bottom lane, with ZJK on the Vengeful Spirit, and of course, rounding out the team, we've got Akashi, the usual mid laner for Xanatic, going to be handling the sniper in the safe lane. So nothing janky with the lanes as we were thinking may happen, but all in all, I suppose we should do the other important thing when it comes to any cast that involves me. Let's place a bet, shall we, Mike?
Man, this one's actually pretty hard. I just want to say xGame because the enemy team has a sniper, but I don't really respect the sniper that much as a hero. And I think I'm going to go with that. Like, now with the Sand King pickup, their ability to blink in, burrow strike, shut down the sniper, or at least slow him down so that the likes of Troll Warlord, Lycan can go to work, and those heroes can do a truckload of damage. They, I would say xGame have it, albeit very slightly.
I'm going to put my money on xGame as well, but we almost missed first blood. There's Centaur does take a lot of damage and force back on the top lane, but of course FN hobbling around on very low HP. This is the strength of the Troll Warlord. He can go range, he can harass you, he can go melee, he can just CS as he likes. He's going to punish FN in this lane. And this is why I love seeing the Troll Warlord pick up. It's more uncommon, but it is growing in popularity, something horrific.
And both sides, they're going to be going very stat heavy, so they're going to have to ferry themselves out extra restoration. It's never really what you want to be doing, but both sides are going to be okay with that, especially Bignum, who forced FN to buy a salve. So it's a pretty nice win for him, and he went very light on the restoration, but this mid lane, I don't expect there to be many kills. If FN gets a couple more levels, his clap will keep him very safe up against the Troll Warlord's harassment. So yeah, FN should be more or less fine moving forward, but up towards top, the Centaur also getting really roughed up. It was a level 1 Shadow Poison by the Shadow Demon, and he got 4 stacks onto the Centaur at one point, and that does a hell of a lot of damage, but Haste Rune on Sand King, that's going to land an instant Burrow Strike. Howl's already there, one more smack from the Lycan. That's going to be a very easy first blood, and it was so close to being first blood drawn by Xanatic as Akashi kills off the puck shortly after, but a couple of seconds make the difference, man, and Centaur is going to be the one to die first.
As ZJK landing the stun and a couple of right clicks somewhere from Akashi. One thing you have to admit about a sniper, he can do a lot of early damage if he gets those headshot procs.
Oh man, the damage with that is just pretty insane. It is deceptively so also.
Yeah,
your ability to stack up the shrapnel, just lay down a carpet of them. Puck, he will want to phase and orb out. That's generally the plan for Puck, but it's a level 1 phase. You're not going to have that much time. You're going to have to walk through some shrapnel. And between that slow and the magic missile and the headshot slow, this Puck is, not in the worst lane of all time, but it's still pretty darn bad.
After the changes to Sniper, I've got to admit, I do have a bit more of a fondness for the hero compared to his previous incarnation. I mean, Shrapnel is something I've always liked the concept of, and I suppose this goes back to Dota 1 and to Hon from the incarnation of Sniper in that. But the Shrapnel, it gets a bad rap in my mind. It's better than a lot of people give it credit for, especially after the patch.
Man, I've just never had respect for Shrapnel ever since it was just an instant nuke that barely cleared a creep wave. Those were terrible times, Sniper. You would never get that skill ever. But it is much better now, and it's actually incredibly useful now that you actually can store them up in charges. So Akashi's going to be packing the phase boots. He has the Wraith Band now. He's going to get to a point where he just by himself is going to be able to completely zone out the Puck. Probably not get the kill, but man, if you're able to just leave your carry alone down here, then the Omni Knight is going to be stacking and pulling, and maybe they're going to go for a gank. I mean, the Troll Warlord has been characteristically very close to FN. If you open up with a Magic Missile, you get a Purify there, that could be a very dead Troll Warlord very quickly for the supports of Xantic, and these aren't really, or Omni Knight's not really the most aggressive roamer, but he will have chances to do that.
Yeah, he will, and it's going to honestly be down to him as Stalcat takes another fall. This is the threat of a sniper with phase boots. He will dive and he will just right-click away.
And the problem for Puck is that he will get more levels and over time will become slightly more survivable, but the odds of his support heroes coming down here is just so incredibly low. The Lycan will need a little bit more help at dealing with the Centaur. The melee versus melee matchup there is not as great for the Lycan, so Shouty needs to chill there. The Sand King has his hands full in the jungle. He just wants his Blink Dagger, so Puck, he doesn't really have any other alternatives other than go down to this bottom lane and cross your fingers, hope you don't die. And Sniper's getting free farm all the while, and he's also getting kills. This is a very farmed Sniper down the line, and xGame, they have to make something happen to the Sniper, probably when Blink Dagger comes up on Sand King, but that's still a long ways away.
Yeah, it is, and we have to consider the build coming out of the Sniper. High points in that shrapnel, 3 points already up in that, and he's almost got his level 6. This Puck's going to be in a very bad way. And the thing, Puck, he just does not have the health pool. 530 health, that's a few right clicks to a Kashi, really.
Yeah, the Sniper can tear through the Puck so easily, and this Omni Knight also leaking experience in this mid lane. The Vengeful Spirit not even needed, and when you're dealing with the Puck and you don't even need your stunner, you know that you're going to be in for a good time. But up towards top, Mantis is actually in a lot of trouble. Double Edge will get the kill. A little bit too close to that Centaur, and you're level 6 is the Lycan, you generally feel pretty safe, but that kill is never supposed to happen, really. First of all, Centaur is never supposed to get that close while feeling comfortable. Your Lycan is not supposed to drop that low.
No, he isn't, and just being too low against the Centaur. Centaur has a huge burst damage potential. 325 damage to the double edge, as well as another 150 from the stomp. That is going to catch people off guard if he can just harass with, say, the return, but he's not skilled in this one, so just a few right clicks, really. However, Bignum is going to rotate up towards that top lane. Could look for a kill, perhaps, on the Centaur, but no, he's not going to find it. The Centaur's going to back up near the tower.
Random Brewmaster Illusion's going to be spotting out where Bignum is going, and he has only a bounty rune available to him, so nothing going to happen that's huge there. He's getting okay farm versus the Brewmaster, but turns out over time FN is actually starting to pull ahead. Now that he has split, the Troll Warlord has to play this so very carefully. Before level 6 is up on the Brewmaster, Troll's able to go toe-to-toe, and he'll be drawing even if not pulling ahead. But now that level 6 is available, a clap into split could mean the death of Bignum. We'll be seeing that right now. FN running out of mana, however, has stick charges, or just was actually just 2 mana short. But Bignum can no longer really sit in this lane very comfortably all by himself. He has a Shadow Demon nearby, but man, they can't kill the Brewmaster either. He has a haste rune for one thing, and he has split. So all 3 lanes going extremely well for Xantic. And well, first of all, mid lane and top lane, I wouldn't really expect to go that well.
No, nor would I, but let's keep an eye on xGame, shall we? We look at Reeves. He's almost got his Blink Dagger, however, he's going to have some problems here of FN. One Thunderclap could kill him off near enough, and Sandstorm won't protect him enough. Oh, he survived by 9 health. Holy hell. I actually thought he was dead, but now when it comes to Stampede, that's going to be enough. However, top lane, that Stampede also being used to harass Mantis, but Mantis is very healthy compared to bad.
The drive-by kill from FN, I mean, it was kind of bad timing on your part. You just started talking about how Reeves was getting a whole lot of farm, and then FN goes over and kills him. So it's going to be a little bit of a slower Blink Dagger coming out from the Sand King, and it's already 8 minutes in, and he hasn't really been doing anything. And now they're going up towards top lane. Mantis getting caught with another hoof stomp. He's going to turn around and try to fight this one, but the huge burst damage once again going to get the kill for the Xantic side before Bad goes down, and the Wolves a little bit too slow because of the Thunderclap. The Centaur is actually going to survive this. Sand King wanting to close in. Burst Strike Sandstorm damage might do it. No, he's just a little bit too slow, given the Tranquils of the Centaur. 5-1, and Xantic are really just crushing xGame's early game. And, well, these heroes, their draft isn't really the strongest in the early game, to be fair, but, man, I didn't expect them to lose by this much.
Well, it's still anyone's game, personally, considering we consider the Blink Dagger on the Sand King. That's a huge pickup. Same for Stalcat, although Stalcat's not had the best lane. He's actually had to rotate away from that bottom lane. He's got in the mid lane now, and this does give, of course, a Kashi complete free farm, and he's already got himself an Aquila as well as another Wraith Band, as well, and the Morbid Mask on top of all of that with the phase boots. So quite a bit of right click potential coming out of Kashi, and almost that Mask of Madness money.
And these are big items coming up from the Xantic side. I mean, they got the Blink Dagger pretty much online on the Brewmaster whenever he wants to grab that one. The Centaur, with the amount of cash he's getting and the amount of help they're putting up towards his top lane, Xantic are going to have double Blink Daggers very, very shortly, plus a Sniper who, at this point, is just such a pain in the ass that xGame are just not even feeling it going down to the bottom lane. It's like, if we go down there, we have to invest a hell of a lot. Might as well just not go down there. And Akashi's going to be very happy with that situation. He's going to be pushing this tower without a care in the world. I mean, here comes Shadow Demon, but Shadow Demon can do next to nothing except for cross his fingers for Janai, but that's too late. Akashi's going to claim a tower. I guess xGame do have a Midas working on their Lycan, and he can get to a state where he can just hold the game by himself, but that state is very far away as Stalkite gets jumped mid, is able to orb away, but the Stampede for it. FN really wants this kill. He probably won't be able to get it. Stalkite has another phase available. There's the split from the Brewmaster, going to try to turn around and kill off the Troll Warlord now, but the Brewmaster is pretty much surrounded right now, and he has to just run in a direction, and probably won't get any kills here, especially with the Shadow Demon coming in. Lets himself be known with the Shadow Poison. A little bit of a mistake there, but it's not really going to cost him too much. The Brewmaster forced to use the split purely defensively. Akashi's actually going to turn around with the double damage rune and try to go for Vlad. That's not going to work either. The Wolves plus the threat of Troll Warlord going to force him back. So first split of the Brewmaster not being used for much.
Yeah, it was more defensive considering Bignum could have possibly gotten the kill there if he didn't split. But as it stands, I mean, that's all in all a win for xGame. Putting the Primal Split on cooldown for that long is going to be very nice for them. However, in this downtime, in this gap, xGame have to accomplish something. They need an objective or they need a good few kills.
Alright, so I don't know if those kills are going to be happening. Sand needs that Blink Dagger first at the very least. The Vlad is up on the Lycan, and they do have a Troll Warlord on their side xGame, so going for Roshan is going to be something that is very, very possible. The problem is that Akashi's going to chill on this bottom lane, and he will just, occasionally dip in there with the Shrapnel, and they'll keep tabs on the Roshan pit. So as far as taking objectives, Roshan tier 1 towers seem pretty easy, but not really super easy. Bignum in the mid lane is going to get hit with a couple of spells, dropping very low, but really no commitment there from Xantic because they don't have that split. Yet they do have a lot of heroes over in the mid lane. Are they looking to go for a push? They have double Blink Daggers up.
With the Blink Daggers, they can certainly get the positioning they need and get the damage on the board, but the big problem here is they didn't have Stampede that second ago. They do now, so they could look to fight, but if they do, they have to respect the Epicenter and the Blink Dagger of the Sand King. Reeves does have it online now, and an Epicenter can turn a fight. We've all seen it.
Well, first of all, Vlad is going to get stampeded upon. He is going to get the bubble out, but I think he's going to die anyway. Here comes that Epicenter, only going to connect onto Bad. A little bit of damage onto the Omnite. Will purify himself. Screw you, Vengeful Spirit. The coil's going to drop onto 2, but that's not really going to do much as FN does come in, and also Akashi from the side is going to kill off 3. Reeves stuck in the Sandstorm right now is going to chill in Shrapnel. He has to leave or else he's just going to very slowly die, and he's going to try to book it off to the south. Nope, just getting out of the Shrapnel range. Now with the new Sandstorm, has a blink out actually. Reeves, no, don't walk in there, no! Oh, Reeves, you were home free. It was fine, you were good. But it's a 4 kill for Xantic, and they only lose their Centaur.
Yeah, the Centaur's more than worth that kind of fight. I mean, they're all low, sure, but just being able to pick off so many of xGame's heroes, it's such a big advantage for them. I mean, if we look at the graphs at this point, it's a 3,000 net worth lead, as well as a 3,000 experience lead. That's pretty damn nice, considering we both said we thought xGame would take this one. It's quite a strong showing for the Xanatic lineup.
And honestly, with the 9-2 advantage, I'm actually a little bit surprised that they're not leading by just a little bit more, but all that advantage, or most of the advantage is, going to be funneled into enablers, the Blink Daggers especially. Going to mean that Xantic are going to be using their net worth in order to accrue more net worth, and they might start over in the mid lane as Bignum. He is going to get the hell out of there. If he stayed for just a couple more seconds, he would have taken a fall, but xGame, they show off the Blink Dagger Epicenter, they land it onto the Centaur, but the problem is there for Xantic, they're going to be diving really deep, and usually you don't expect that much backup to be there. Over towards mid lane, Bignum is going to get jumped after all. Burst Strike is going to save him a little bit of time, plus the bubble. That is going to be the first one to die. Now the Brewling's actually going to get chowed down by Mantis. Earth 1 is the only one remaining, actually, and they could actually kill this Brewmaster within his split. No, they're going to back off, seeing Akashi there, and Akashi's actually going to turn things around. Has an Assassinate. Vlad's going to take a lot of damage with the clap. Will die. FN will take a Burst Strike to the face shortly after, but there's not enough damage to actually kill off this Brew with just the Sand King and Puck. They really need the Lycan and or the Troll here, but they were lagging a little bit behind, making it a 1-for-1 trade overall in the mid lane, and that's something that xGame are going to be pretty happy about, but man, that was not really a comfortable trade for them, just in how it was approached by Xantic.
No, Xantic just came in, they got what they wanted, they got a couple of easy kills, abused the fact they've got the blink daggers, but most importantly for Xantic, what was left alone in that entire fight to do what he wanted? The sniper. It's one of those things that you just cannot do. You cannot ignore the sniper, just like if there's an Undying, you cannot fight under the tombstone. The like simple things that just you'd think sit in your head. But how do you get past the big front line heroes of Xantic to get at that sniper? Especially when that sniper is going to be protected, possibly by Guardian Angel, possibly by a Repel. It's a nice strategy from Xantic, but how do xGame deal with this sniper?
Well, they need to, first of all, just not use the Blink Dagger Burst Strike on non-sniper targets. They need to make sure that they have a coil or something from the puck reserved for that sniper. Anything else other than that, I mean, maybe you just have Mantis sick the wolves upon sniper and hope for the best there, but anything else is probably not going to work. They're going to try to go for FN down towards bottom. Epicenter is there. This should be a kill on the Brewmaster, but it will be a little bit slower than it really should be. FN is going to die in the end. That's a nice kill for the xGame side. Going to put a lot of gold into Puck's pocket. It's closer to the Blink Dagger there. Once the Blink Dagger comes up on Puck, then the Sniper's death is going to be a little bit more possible for xGame, but until then, Akashi, I mean, he has so much movement speed with his build, plus he has so many bulky frontliners that he doesn't really have to worry too much about the enemy's positioning. He's going to be fine for a long time in this game. xGame have to reserve their Blink Daggers for the Sniper, and that's not really what you want to be doing.
No, it's really not. They want to really get tags of opportunity, but this kind of let's protect the sniper style of Xantic, it's causing them problems. And I suppose this is sort of a traditional 4 Protect 1 in some ways.
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea as a 4 Protect 1, except it's a little bit more aggressive than the old 4 Protect 1s used to be, but hey, it doesn't really matter, right? Whatever works, and Sniper clearly seems to be working out for Xantic as they're going to jump in for Bignum, who stuck around for a little bit too long. Didn't expect the Brewmaster to be there. He's going to get walked down. Akashi with his damage is going to draw the kill there. They're going to try to go for ZGK over town towards bottom lane, swap out from the Vengeful Spirit, going to try to make a run for it, but that's not going to work. Reeve's taking a lot of damage, but will survive, making it a 1-for-1 overall. However, Xantic take the mid lane tower, plus they take a troll kill, and that is one of, if not the most important kills for Xantic to have right now. Plus, they can also defend their bottom lane, so next game they don't walk away completely empty-handed, but it's certainly not the best trade for them to make, especially when Xantic have that split Stampede and GA all available. They can go for all the rest of the towers right now.
Yeah, they could, and I think that's going to be the order of business. Akashi starting to get some pressure going on this bottom lane, has FN backing them up. They've got that primal split, as I mentioned. It's a case of what can xGame do? Do they sack the tower and just look for farm elsewhere, or do they try to take a fight to defend it?
I don't know if they can defend it. They need the epicenter at the very least, and Reeves is over in the mid lane. Well, everyone is away from the bottom lane, so if Xantic really wanted this tower, they would probably have it by now. But xGame are going to be playing it a little bit fast and loose, and they're going to be lucky in the fact that the push isn't really there. However, the Sniper still is. He's going to go straight for Vlad, has a couple shrapnel charges, but he doesn't have enough mana for an Assassinate, so he's probably not going to be inclined to go all out for the kill, and also have to deal with the bubble, which is pretty good against Assassinate. So just the Sniper being here is going to make xGame really scared about staying down on this bottom lane with anyone. Hell, even if it's the Lycan, he can't really stay versus the Sniper just by himself. He needs another hero at the very least to help him out.
Yeah, I mean, who would you send down here though? Would you send the Brewmaster down here to help with the Sniper so they can push this, or?
And I would just keep the Sniper down there. He's going to be a-okay unless xGame force everyone on their team back down there. Reeves in the meantime is going to get jumped by FN and ZGK. There is dust here, but Reeves is in a nice little corner. He will blink to a spot where they can go. Bad has a blind blink available, but he will decide to not even bother with that. Where is he going? Okay. Tanking gets away, but Sniper at this point can stay on the bottom lane by himself. He's fast enough, and he knows that Puck still doesn't have his Blink Dagger, so the Sniper's fine for now by himself, and at a certain point, just add the Omni Knight to that.
Well, if the Sniper's going to be absolutely fine and the Omni Knight is nearby, then I guess you just put pressure on all of the other lanes and just have the Sniper split pushing away. Just play the, if you're going to all focus on him, we're going to take everything else kind of gameplay, but now we've got Necro books online for the Lycan, this could change things a bit. I mean, the damage from the Lycan is not exactly small, and he can split push very well.
You don't really want to be testing a race with the Lycan ever. Like, as powerful as Sniper is right now, he's not going to be able to out-split push a Lycan. That's just not how it works, especially a Lycan with Troll Warlord backup over towards bottom. They're going to make a poke xGame. They have a Blink Dagger ready and waiting. The vision situation here for the Dire, though, pretty much non-existent. They do send in the Wolves, which is going to spot everything out, but do they really want to fight in these quarters? It's very, very clustered. It's good for Sand King, but it's also great for the Centaur and the Brewmaster. And Akashi, he can stay in the back very easily, given the amount of space he has to move around. They're going to try to go for Roshan, actually. This is potentially very dangerous for the Xantic side, as Sand King's situation, he's not in position just yet. He only has a level 1 Epicenter, so won't really be doing the most damage, but he does have easy access into this Roshan pit, and Roshan is dropping fairly slowly. It's going to be a fight as they get in with the Epicenter coils. AGK is going to take a fall immediately. That's 2 down for Xantic. No Guardian Angel, no heals. The split is there for the Brewmaster. They try to go for Bignum, but I don't really know if that's going to be successful. I don't even know if it's going to be worth their time. Sniper is off to the side, killing off a couple supports. Now Reed is right on top of him. Mantis is going to close in as well, as Stalkat Kashi is out of position, and he's going to be dropped. Bignum, in the meantime, still alive from the Brewmaster. He is going to finally take a fall. Him and Bad are the only ones left. The 2 tanky frontliners are still alive, and that's really just what happens when you're in a position like this, when enemies are coming in from every direction. There is no front line for your tanky frontliners to be in. There is just everyone collapsing on you at the same time.
Yeah, this was the exact positioning that xGame needed. They came in, they got the backline kills with the Epicenter, and most importantly with the Blink Dagger on the puck. That was surprise. That was a complete surprise to the Xantic lineup. The Blink in, the Dream Coil, the Epicenter, it just did so much damage. It dropped the Omni Knight so quick that he couldn't cast a single spell. That's how you need to deal with the Omni. You either obliterate him when he can't see it coming, or you get the Diffusal Blade. They can't do the latter, so they have to go with the primary option, which is obliterate the Omni.
I mean, even if they did get the GA out, there's a Demonic Purge to take care of one target, and I'm pretty sure I know who xGame are going to be saving their Demonic Purge for, Sniper. So, yeah, the Omni Knight, even if he did get something off, it wouldn't have been the end-all. I mean, xGame already started that fight off so very well, and the damage from the Lycan was focused on the right heroes, whereas for the Brewmaster, he was trying to kill off the Troll Warlord, and that's justifiable, I would say, but his ability to actually kill off the Troll is so limited. First of all, his damage output when split isn't really that high, and also the Troll Warlord is just so incredibly fast. They're going to try to jump now, FN. He doesn't have a split available. He's going to get chowed down very quickly with that Battle Trance, and he's going to take a fall. Reeves Sandstorm is going to get the kill. Don't ask how that happened. Sandstorm does do a lot of damage, but not that much. Either way, Brewmaster is going to take a fall, and xGame, they are actually riding quite a large wave of momentum after that Roshan kill. With that Aegis, they're going to be playing this a little bit fast and loose now, and they can get away with it.
Yeah, take a look at the graphs. I mean, that's quite the slope that's now in favor of xGame in both gold and experience, but now in comes Akashi from the side. They're going to try to force back these Necro units, but the damage is already done. The tower's fallen. And the Lycan and crew are just going to rotate to another lane and push that. Mantis finds himself in Invis Rune, and they could go top lane here. It's now the ball in xGame's court. They can be aggressive. They have that opportunity now, and they can deal with this Sniper. They've proven it.
And they're going to be trying to solidify their late game off of this momentum with now 2 Midases on their heroes. It's a rather late Midas for the puck, but you know, Blink Midas is a perfectly reasonable build. I would expect a Yule Scepter from him to come out next, and well, at this point they can pretty much do whatever they want. They could go for a whole 5-man team push. They could just leave Mantis up to the top lane and be annoying with the Lycan, as Lycan usually is, or they could try to go for this Brewmaster again. I don't think they could kill him off now that he has split, but they do have the book and mana burn. That might be enough if they had Necrorinus to summon, actually 10 seconds off from that, so they can't go just yet. But the Brewmaster, now he knows that he is no longer just press ultimate, get out of jail free. So he's going to be playing this a little bit cautiously. Hell, everyone on Xantic going to be playing a little bit more cautiously after that last fight.
However, while that's been going on, Akashi has found himself a triple Ancient stack. That's giving him a nice burst of gold, and he's got 3.6k gold in his pocket. I'm thinking this could be Butterfly, and that would give Akashi such a huge physical damage boost.
Butterfly is going to force the Troll Warlord and or the Lycan to grab that MKB later on, and well, Mantis will still probably have enough damage to kill off Kashi, assuming the Mask of Madness is turned on, but if the Lycan's not on top of him the entire time, then it's just not going to happen. Bringing him down towards bottom lane, he's going to get stampeded upon with the Force Staff, Blink Dagger, Bad. Might have pulled the trigger a little bit too early on that. They use a whole lot of their heroes to do really nothing right now, as xGame, they're just messing with Xantic at this point. Lycan, though, fortunately for Xantic, is nowhere close to any sort of tower push, so it's still fine for xGame, and it seems like they're not going to use this Aegis.
Epicenter Reeves. Oh, tries to get Bad, but Bad blinks out before Reeves can land. Oh, wow. That was quite the reaction from Bad.
And you hate to see that kind of thing happen. You burn an Epicenter, but even with Epicenter down, do Xantic make a play off of this one? It's a pretty long cooldown, and they do have an opening, but I still think xGame can probably get away with a fight even without their Epicenter, as long as they have good initiation from the puck and a good Burrow Strike.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree for that one. The Epicenter is nice and all, but I think they could fight without it, and it might be a case of they're going to have to defend this top tier 1 if they want to. However, Stalkat does take huge amounts of damage from that sniper. I don't see him getting out of this when it comes to Thunderclap from FN to end that one, so this should be an uncontested tier 1. They can't really defend it without the puck.
Yeah, you need someone to follow up initiate, and Kashi solo killing the puck is pretty much the best case scenario there for Xantic. There's no real great way to get out of there as puck. You want to phase shift dodge the assassinate, but you can't because you're just going to die to the right clicks. xGame, they're going to try to split race, and maybe they're going to get a tower off this one. Bottom lane taking a little damage. Here comes a Troll Warlord. Brewmaster's going to come right in. Burrow Strike will be waiting for him if they want to fight this, but they don't. And a little bit of tower damage here and there over towards mid. Mantis is going to get dropped very low, but he will put a lot of damage into the tower at the same time. They're going to back off successfully. And xGame, though they do lose a tier 1 tower, it's just a tier 1 tower and it's 24 minutes in the game. They're going to be fine making that trade, especially if they get Bad on the retreat. Bad's actually going to jump forward for Vlad, do a lot of damage to the Shouty, but not quite enough. FN's going to seal the deal there. Now he's going to start that split. Mantis is going to run out of split form. That's probably the worst timing, and he runs out of the Aegis. Oh man, all the timing's going terribly for Mantis. He's going to throw him into the air. He will drop into a whole mess of enemy heroes. In fact, yeah, I don't know if there's anywhere that he could go off of this. He's going to get magic missiled and purified and everything. All of those spells are completely unnecessary, but they kill off the Lycan, and that is an unfortunate loss of both the Aegis and Shapeshift.
Poor timing and the fact that the whole kitchen sink was thrown at him, but I don't think the Lycan's going to mind too much. He does have his BKB finished, so he did buy out before he died. Having the BKB is going to mean he can at least fight that a little bit more, and he won't take anywhere near as much damage from the Vengeful Spirit, from the Brewmaster, or from that Omni Knight.
So far, mostly in this game, Xantic have been killing heroes mostly through single target, single pickoffs, whereas the one team fight, or the one big team fight that we've seen has gone xGame's way. It might be that there's not going to find many opportunities xGame to get that team fight that they really want, but if they do, then, well, history says that they're going to have a little bit more of an edge, and with the Coil Epicenter, if they properly focus down the correct heroes, then it's easy to see how they are going to be able to take that fight. But right now, Xantic, they're still getting pickoffs, and that's a problem for xGame. It's fine losing a hero here and there, but at a certain point, you're bleeding one too many, and they need to get something in exchange, and that something can't just be a random Vengeful Spirit kill, but they haven't even been getting that. 2 deaths on the Venge, how many on the Omni Knight? Just 1. Not too many support pickoffs for xGame.
No, not at all. xGame, you would think that they would have the ability to pick off those supports so easily. I mean, the Puck, Sand King, Shadow Demon, it just screams, yeah, where your support's going to melt, but it just hasn't been the case in this game.
Maybe it's just because xGame are playing this game a little bit too defensively. Like, they definitely have to respect the reinforcement power of the Centaurs. First of all, Stampede is incredibly difficult to deal with for any team. And xGame, they're not exactly packing the most crowd control, but man, they have to make some aggressive plays. If they just sit back and 100% wait for Xantic to come to them, then, well, it might work out some of the time, but it's not going to lead into a victory for them. Maybe this time it's going to work because they have an Aghanim Epicenter waiting for this top lane push, but man, if this doesn't land properly, then this tower is going to fall, and this time xGame, there is no trade in sight, as both the mid and bottom lanes are very far away from the Radiant side of the map.
I like the Aghanims on the Sand King, but you know me, I'm going to mention it. Veil of Discord. It would be so strong right here. They've got the Puck, they've got a Sand King, Shadow Demon. Screams Veil of Discord, surely, but this looks to be a top tier 2 uncontested. If xGame are not careful, they're going to try to come in, but just in comes Stalkat, just to harass and try to bait something out, I guess. It orbited back immediately, okay. But the tower will go down while this is all going on. Mantis helps himself to a bottom tier 2, so it's a tier 2 for a tier 2, and Bad might be in a lot of trouble. Does have 0 mana, all burned out by the Necrobooks, and will be completely finished off by Mantis. And Mantis wants more. He can grab ZJK, but now in comes FN. Oh, Mantis thinks twice. You've also got the disruption from Vlad. He's going to try to survive from Akashi, but there's no chance of that. Akashi just rains death everywhere he goes. I suppose that's a good flurry for Zanatic. They managed to bring down the Shadow Demon, but Mantis does escape clean.
And up towards top, the Puck and Sand King, they, I believe, canceled a TP of the Omni Knight up on top, and that may have been what messed up Xantic's teleportation in. The Centaur teleported in, he was all alone. He has a Blink Dagger Force Staff, so you could kind of assume that you're going to get some distance away, but you don't really teleport in like that up against that many enemy heroes. They're going to chase you down, and it's not going to be fun. So Xantic kind of taking a messy defense on their tier 2 tower, and it obviously failed. It ended up in xGame taking the tower and taking a couple kills thereafter. So even tower trades, but kills going the way of xGame, mostly off of a mistake of Xantic. When I mean, they also used the split there, and because of that split usage, xGame, they're going to jump right into the Roshan pit. BKBs on Mantis and Bignum going to be a pretty big tool moving forward. Now there's also a Dagon on Puck. You normally would say Dagon 30 minutes in, probably not a good idea, but when the Puck's primary job is to kill off the sniper, or at least delay the sniper, Dagon's not so terrible if Massive Madness is on.
No, it isn't, not at all. However, I would say a Ghost Scepter would be nice, but Akashi does a lot of damage to Vlad, and Vlad just cannot survive this kind of power. Now Bignum going to be on the receiving end, eats the double edge, and Akashi picks up the double kill. May look for the triple. Mantis needs to leg it, but he gets stunned out. He's going to get his Aegis forced if he's not careful. BKBU's trying to escape, swap back though. He's not going to escape this at all. Down goes the Aegis. That's 3 kills, but Epicenter is there. It's short though. It doesn't connect on anyone. Mantis is in a lot of trouble as well. He doesn't have another transformation, so he's going to take a second fall after that Aegis. Now in comes Stalker, and Stalker just cannot do anything either. He's orbs up to the high ground. This is so many kills avalanching the way of Xantic. It's absolutely a mess.
Okay, well, I just said that Xantic had a little mistake down towards the bottom lane defense, but man, now that was a mistake from xGame. Your Troll Warlord gets Blink Hoof Stomped. You know that the enemies are right outside that Roshan pit if you're xGame. You hear the shrapnel, you see the shrapnel, you know exactly who's there, or you could assume that the enemy team is there just because of that fact. Troll Warlord, I mean, doesn't pop the BKB, gets picked off, but then Lycan waits very long to shapeshift. He like waits until the enemies already see him before he starts shapeshifting. Then after he shapeshifts, he sees the magic missile coming to him in the air, doesn't BKB, gets stunned, BKBs afterwards? Like, come on, man. Magic Missile is like the easiest thing to dodge in the world with the BKB. You just jam that button and you're fine. So I really don't know what was going on there with Mantis and xGame in general making a bad call. Now they're going to reinitiate with Reeves. Doesn't have an epicenter though. Bad's going to jump right in, going to annihilate 2 instantly. Shadow Demon Bubble going to slow down someone. It's actually going to save Reeves' life, but he's probably not going to last very long because Sniper's just going to town on everyone. He's going to take a triple kill after all is said and done. Whereas the Lycan, he's going to get right back up in the base actually, and he's going to have a 1 versus 5 ahead of him. Hell, I don't even know if he could take Kakashi 1v1 at this point. The Daedalus Mjolnir on this Sniper. And Xantic, they're going to crush through the mid lane, and they could probably shuffle up towards the top lane if they really wanted to. xGame, they just get completely destroyed off of just one really, really bad mistake.
Yeah, but a mistake like that at this point in the game, it can avalanche your rack so quickly. I mean, the Aegis was forced twice, and 2 easy kills from the Lycan with the Aegis there, as well as the Troll, as well as the rest of the team. It's nuts, and that's 2 easy lanes of racks, as you say. There's no way really back for xGame in my mind for this game.
Fortunately for them, there's still a tier 2 down towards the bottom lane, so it's not completely over for them just yet. They have a slim chance, but I mean, the Lycan can't really outrace now. He will be able to kill off towers very quickly if he actually gets on top of one, but good luck actually getting on top of a tower by the time Xantic get into your base. It's not a race that Lycan can win any longer. I mean, they have all these great tools at dealing with Xantic, but I mean, this BKB on Lycan has only been used once, and it didn't do jack for him just because he was a little bit too greedy with it. The Aghanim Scepter Sand King, that also did nothing. Like, the health is nice, I suppose, but you really need those extra pulses to land, and those clearly just didn't over in where it mattered in the Roshan pit. So xGame, they have a lot of net worth, and no one's going to deny that, but all their net worth it's meaningless because they're just not landing skills, or they're not using their items when they really need to.
Yeah, it's just a complete... I'm trying to find a word that I can use here. It's a complete clusterbuck, I think we'll go with. A complete clusterbuck.
That's usually a good word to use in these types of situations. Like, xGame, they just botch it just a little bit, and I mean, they were already behind to start things off, so you make a mistake like that, and suddenly your 2 rags is down. Xantic, they're going to play this very safe, though. They're going to smoke up instead of just straight pushing the bottom lane, which they probably can get away with. But they're looking for blood up towards top. It's going to be the Lycan. He is not having enough gold for buyback, and he does not know what's coming for him. There's a swap here to deal with the BKB, and, well, I mean, you can see how relevant that BKB is. Killed within the duration of one hoof stomp for the upteenth time. The Centaur is going to strike the Lycan. And with the Lycan dead for a minute more, there's nothing that's going to be standing between Xantic and victory right now. They could just go for the throne.
That's 760 damage crits coming out of Akashi. Yeah, I think they can go for the throne. Without the Lycan, they don't have the power to hold this unless they hit the magic epicenter, but that's not going to happen without a Veil of Discord. I keep mentioning it.
Veil of Discord actually does make the epicenter do more damage, I think. Like, and it also helps your allies do more damage and stuff like that, but yeah, mathematically, Veil is the correct aggressive item.
Mathematically, a Veil, I believe, does more than a Aghanim's upgrade. Even if the Aghanim's upgrade gives you a couple more pulses, 25% damage on every pulse is quite huge, and Bad will at least pick up another kill onto the Shadow Demon. That's going to be the throne, and, well, game 1 today goes Xanatic's way, but bad mana pause, maybe?
Just
game 1 goes...
Bignum wanted out.
Yeah, game 1 goes Xanatic's way. I believe we have more games coming up, though, don't we, Mike?
Oh, man, we sure do. Next game is going to be xGame versus Basically Unknown. And then it's a double feature with xGame as they then go up against Balkan Bears. We have a whole bunch of games coming down the line, and that next game is going to be happening in, my god, 40 minutes. I feel like this always happens, man, every single time. Just like a huge break in between games, but Xantic are going to be taking this one. Little Busters Forever going to claim the first game in the final group, and, well, now xGame, off of that loss, they're going to be facing up against Basically Unknown, and Basically Unknown, that is not an easy team to go against ever. So good luck to xGame. They're definitely going to need it. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Blackadder. We guys hope you enjoyed the casting. If you did, be sure to hit that follow button. Follow us on Twitter at Mike Loris, at Mr_Blackadder, and we'll be right back in about 40 to see the next game of xGame going up against Basically Unknown.